A common question I get is, what's going on with performance reviews? How are they changing in 2024? Yes, they are, and it's been evolving for a while. There are three key factors that I believe are driving that evolution. First, you now have digital natives as the majority of your workforce, and they prioritize a sense of purpose and being in an organization that's values driven to choose how they contribute, and with that as an expectation to be developed to continuously contribute better. Second, awareness, and as a result, a certain demand for human connectedness in the workplace. They want an experience that drives real-time conversation about performance and development. And, sometimes those two things are getting intertwined. You can imagine that managers and leaders are struggling with that a little bit because the two have always been separated. And the third is a little trickier to see. We're seeing in the data, Bloomberg just reported that we're losing more middle managers than we are executive leaders, 19.5% versus 6%. And that means there are fewer people to be connected with. And the way HR has responded to this is to push out human resource information system and leading learning tools into the hands of the workforce directly. So they are self-managing their own performance and development progress. It doesn't mean that they still don't want the human connectedness. They do. But here's the thing. Managers and leaders are seeing employees come into their office armed with information and a demand that they're not used to hearing. 81% of HR leaders recently interviewed by Gartner identified that performance management is leaving the HR field and moving directly to the front line. One could argue that's probably better, since for many years, employees have complained about not having enough time with their boss. Engagement surveys always have at least one question about my boss cares about my work or asks me about my work or makes new opportunities available. None of that happens without there being consistent human connectedness. And of course, what we're going to see as a result of those factors I've just given you, we're going to see a more personalized and a more frequent conversation that's combining performance and development into one conversation with feedback. I know that's the deathly fear that all managers and leaders have. And yet it's really easy to give positive feedback that starts with, I'm appreciating the consistency I'm seeing in your follow through and your outcomes. And what's the stretch for your next stage of development? It actually can become a very clear combined conversation if it's done in a 1-2. Acknowledge performance, and then, even if there is something you want to improve in performance, shape it in the form of a development activity. What does this workforce want? They want more autonomy. They want you to be very clear about performance expectations and then trust them to use their skills and capabilities that you hired them for to produce. Now, that doesn't mean trust without verification. So you will want to put some data-driven tools in place so that together you're both in real time paying attention to results that are getting produced. And ultimately, that simpler tech-driven way to monitor progress is going to help you prepare for those conversations in your crazy busy pace at the workplace. You will be able to bring up the data together and make sure you're really focused in that conversation. That's the way to satisfy what the new workforce is seeking and make this evolution in performance management a win-win-win.